That robot AI still not going to be genuine. It's not going to have a heartbeat. It's not going to have the experiences that we've had. A lot of the older generations, they don't like that. One of the things that they're missing is that in-person connection. You're a Gen Z. When was the last time you were in a bank? Some people value that communication. You're a Gen Z.
I'm a millennial, so. Some might think that I have a familiar face back on the podcast, but please introduce yourself and let them know that you're not the oldest one. You're his son.
I know I look like him, but yes, my name is Kielan Watson. I'm the son of the man of the hour, the president of the Urban Financial Services Coalition, national president, and I'm just here to share my piece. I'm part of the program as well. Was part of the Mark I program, received some scholarships that aided me in completing my degree. At Vanderbilt University in Tennessee, and I'm here.
Well, let's take it back, right? I mean, your experience with the coalition was from the recipient side of the grants that they provide, right? And education is certainly one of the main focuses for the organization, right? So, tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. I went to school. Like I said, I was not in the financial services. I actually went to school for science communications. And so working with real scientists, working to eliminate the jargon from some of their work to make it more accessible to the community. One of the things that came with that was just becoming someone who could take information and communicate it better. But when I got this opportunity to just meet other people in the financial industries and just figure out how I become a better leader, I just took the opportunity. Like I said, I wasn't in the financial services, but I saw it as an opportunity, and I learned a lot from it. Valuable connections, networking, just part of an organization that's bigger than ourselves, feeding into the community, and just, pulling our resources together to make something bigger. And that's kind of what their goal is.
That makes sense. So do you see yourself playing a role within the organization?
Yeah,
in the future?
Definitely. Like I said, they fed into me, invested in my education, and I'm here. Like I said, I'm here today just as a face. Like I said, I'm a success. I was able to take that opportunity and to build from it. And I'm just looking to see what's next. But with me being here today, like I said, I work in the financial industry. So I'm a revenue manager. I work for Hilton, and so I'm in the hospitality industry, and a lot of those same aspects are present in my career as well. I don't know exactly what my future holds career-wise. I'm still trying to figure it out, but everything that I've learned will definitely have some role in that, and will I feel like I have more tools. I'm always learning, and coming to events like this, you learn more, you meet more people, and I'm just building that foundation so that when I do figure out, this is what I want to do, I want to come back and help with this, I already got the foundation for it.
That makes sense. That makes complete sense. And having, the president as your father is,
I know, it's
plays a major role as well.
Yes.
I mean, we can talk about your father to some
all
extent.
day,
good or bad, right? When I say that, he's played a major role in a lot of folks being involved in the financial services industry, right?
Right.
Even I was telling you when we were walking in, being able to help me facilitate or put myself in a position of those rooms where I can actually introduce myself to CEOs and CFOs, right? And shaking hands and things like that. So I think that is the initial phase of it. But beyond that, getting himself in uncomfortable situations and being comfortable in those uncomfortable situations.
Being comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
He says that a lot. I had to quote him earlier,
yes.
Right? How did you take that from him and use it for your success?
Honestly, a lot of stuff that he's taught me, whenever I'm in a situation where I'm like, you got to make a big decision, or even at work where someone's asking me for something, you might have a busy schedule, you might have a bunch of obligations, and then it's just constantly adding more tasks to it. You just have to take it, all right, remember, you're here for a reason. And like you said, being comfortable in uncomfortable situations, just knowing like you have the ability to, get through whatever you're in. So like it might just be work, it might be, recreational sports. I like to go to the gym and just play basketball. I might not have enough time to just play basketball. I might want to work out too, and get a
Yeah.
little hoop session in. So
Yeah.
just being like, all right, I'm gonna just do it.
I'm just
I'm
gonna
gonna just
add
do it. Just go at it. You might hurt later a little bit.
Yeah.
You might be a little tired,
You can
but
ice that
yeah,
out, you know?
that's a later problem.
Yes.
Right now you got the job done now.
And I think it's early, and I think it's the perfect opportunity for you to be able to take in all those things in. And as you're trying to figure out your path in the future, or
Right.
even in the financial services industry or whatever industry you want to be in,
I agree.
and you can just say, all right, well, I've tried it. I'm not going to do it. I think it's just a lot of commitment. The return on my time is not there yet, so I can drop that out. But now being able to actually take all that in, and you just flew in last night,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
right? For this event,
Yes.
right? So that's another taking
I
on.
know, yeah.
You know?
Being available is another thing.
Being available,
Yes.
another, even being a good support system, backing people
Right.
when they need it. Well, let's talk about communicating things in a way where people are able to understand them. That's what you basically went to school for, right?
Yes.
So that takes high level understanding, but also it requires understanding your audience.
Yeah. Understanding your
Correct.
audience. Yes.
And being able to bridge that gap. There was a lady that sat right here in this chair, and we were conducting an interview. She does that in the financial services industry to the community, and that's like something that she taught me. And I'm actually trying to see if that's really what the major that you
They want to pursue. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like communication is at the forefront of any career. Any industry, any environment, corporate, retail, you got to be able to have some connection with not only the people that you work for, unless you're your own boss, there's always someone above you, or the people that you cater to. And so I feel like having a strong communication is something that everyone, is able to have, but when you're able to use that to your advantage and to be a professional at it, I feel like that's when you start to stand out and you're like, oh, like he's a professional at what he does. I feel like it just starts with communication. Like with my dad, being able to get on that stage and just talk to, a bunch of people about the stuff that he's done, that's a big task, especially with knowing that you're there for a reason. Like I said, you're there for a reason, but also you have to know what you're talking about. You can't just go up there, especially when you're like I said, the man of the hour, you're the person that everyone here is for, and you have to really be able to show that you know what you're talking about, have the confidence to be able to portray that information, but to also have that, that knowing that like I'm gonna go up here, I'm finna just get it done, get the jitters out, like you just got to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But it all comes, the way that you present the information, how you look up there while you're presenting it, all that goes into it. But I feel like at the start of all that is being able to communicate it, and so it's something that we always are working on. It's not something that you just wake up and you perfect.
You have it.
It happens every day. We communicate with our families. We communicate at our jobs, at the grocery store, and I feel like it's something that we don't value as much. We get to the point where you look at the grocery stores and we're switching to the the automated registers. If you think about it, a lot of the older generations, they don't like that. And one of the things that they're missing is that in-person connection with a clerk. You can talk about your day, or it's just that's something that was traditional. And so now that we're switching to the automated, that's one aspect where we're losing communication. Now it's just like swipe and go. So you don't really have to talk to anybody. For some people, busy, want to get in and out is perfect. But for some people that value the communication, that that personal aspect, they're missing out on that. And so it's just a different dynamic.
That's very interesting. That's a very interesting topic, especially coming from you because you're the younger generation.
I am the
right?
young.
You
Yes.
would rather supposedly prefer
Probably the
right?
in and out.
In
But I
and
do
out,
understand
quick,
it.
right?
Yeah.
But I think the career, or at least you went to school for that, so you see the
You see the
gap.
value, yeah, in what it used to be. And like I said, I appreciate the technology and being able to get in and out. But I do understand that switching from having that in-person clerk to even back in the day when they used to pump your gas, it's just we're automating some stuff and we're losing that communication, that personal touch. And like I said, some things, so be it. Let's do it. But I do believe that some people value that communication, and it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to go anywhere. Recently, I had a conversation with a person that has extensive background in data analysis and also AI. Right?
Okay.
So he's saying that AI will be able to eliminate a lot of jobs, but also create opportunities. So he said one of the things that AI will create opportunities for is the one that you're talking about, which is that personal connection, right? The human
Human interaction, yeah.
interaction would
Human
be,
to human interaction,
yes,
yes.
would be missing, and then it would open up another
Yes,
outlet for people seeking
right.
these kind of human
But
interactions.
it's still not going to be genuine. That robot can know everything we know,
Yeah.
but it's not going to have a heartbeat. It's not going to have the experiences that we've had, growing up. Even with, me and you, like, I don't know where you came from,
Yeah.
but like, I can guarantee that we've had some experiences that an AI hasn't.
That's so
And I
true.
promise you have, because it's a
Yes.
computer.
It is. Even in the future as
Yeah.
well. Like if you were to take in all the information, in,
Right.
It would be absolutely difficult for it to really understand human emotion. Again, I want to go back to that conversation that I had with that gentleman because he talked about AI being able to even understand human emotion, but still, like you
Yes.
said, the skin, the flesh, right?
Yes.
The blood, the
Right.
heart, that
Yes.
piece of it will forever be ours.
Yes.
But I'm intrigued by it. I
Oh
would
yeah,
like
definitely.
to take advantage
yes.
of it.
And I love technology. It's always like one of the things I'm always saying is it's not going anywhere but forward.
Yes.
Like it's going to continue developing. It's going to continue making our life easier in some aspects, but that personal touch is what we have to continue to keep. I mean, it's going to happen. Technology is going to happen. I mean, somebody was just telling me. They just asked me. They were like, you're a Gen Z. When was the last time you were in a bank? And I was thinking, and I was like, that's a great question. Like, unless I went to the ATM just to get some cash out,
You have been.
I haven't talked to a bank clerk in I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe when you opened your account.
right. That's probably the last time, honestly.
Well, okay, so that opens up a whole. Because it's like, because I heard another Gen Z say as well. I'm a millennial, so I'm like right above you, I guess, or is it behind you? Anyways,
Yeah.
even for me as well, like I'm rarely at the bank. I work for a credit union, therefore I am there to be able to do interactions, meetings, interact with the branch team there. But most of the people that are coming into the branches are old folks as well. I heard, again, let me go back to the original point. I had another Gen Z who told me that she doesn't really want a bank with a bank that has like a brick and mortar where you can actually walk in. She'd rather do her transactions so like with these online banks that are creating.
Yeah.
And you see these major financial institutions actually creating the space for that because they understand the need of it, right? It's like Capital One 360.
Yep.
And it's like completely online.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you need to go to an ATM, you can use any ATM that you want.
Right.
You can, refund
And that
the fee for you.
works.
It works, right?
It works.
I want financial institutions to truly understand you guys to some extent,
Yeah.
To be able to actually service what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
Let's talk about finance. Now you're working somewhat in the finance industry.
Yes.
What exactly are you doing? Are you like looking at paperwork, balance sheets, or what are you learning from?
So
this
I'm
interaction?
pretty much looking at data all day. So I take the data I have a portfolio of hotels all around the country, East Coast, West Coast, Central. And basically what I do is I look at their data and I just give them a rundown. This is how y'all did yesterday. This is how y'all did today. This is our plans for this month. So we look at everything up, maybe next year if we got something big coming. So we're looking at all their data and we're basically giving them a suggestion on how they can make more money with the same amount of rooms they had than last year. So if you have a hotel, let's say it's a Hampton and it has 100 rooms, how can we make more money than we made last year with those 100 rooms this year? And so we go on a day-to-day basis. We look at everything, how we can, where should our rates be, looking at our occupancy, what are some mixes of business that we should target? What can we get rid of? Like, what do we not need? It might be business that we're getting, but is that really benefiting our revenue? And so everything is revenue, how do we make more money? But essentially, I'm just giving suggestions based off of their data on like, hey, this is what you did last year. It worked, it didn't work. How can we push it further? And I'm just becoming a specialty and being able, I'm just an asset to them. They pay for our service. We give our 2 cents, and at the end of the day, it's their decision. Raise the rate, lower the rate, hold it. But all we can do is we read the data. We can give you the suggestion. And so,
data analysis is a very interesting topic as well. But do you analyze Airbnb's impact on hotels? Or is that something that is like being considered? Or are you just
Yeah.
basically looking at historical data for the hotel? You just basically coming in as a strategist and letting them know, hey, if this is a good game plan, if you were
Yeah.
to run with this, you'll be able to see an X percentage increase on your.
So that's actually a great question. That's not an aspect that's considered in our position. Most of our competitors are going to be. So I work for Hilton. So most of our competitors, Marriott is the biggest one. Any other hotel in the area, the Hyatts, you get some Four Seasons in some areas. But for me, I do mostly standard brand hotels. So my main competitor is going to be the Marriott. And so we're just looking to see like, hey, or it might be some Hilton brands as well. But how can my hotel be the demand driver in our area? Is it going to be rate? Is it going to be having this available? These room types available? How can we set ourselves apart from the other hotels in the area so we can make the most money? And it depends on the hotel brands. My Hampton is not going to compete with the Conrad. It's not going to compete with the Anatole. But how can I make more money than we did last year? The hotel teams, they're happy. If you could make more money, that's the goal, is to make more money. Airbnbs, of course, are going to come into play. I know I read a case on their story, how they came up, how it started. And it's a very interesting story. And I've been in the Airbnb before. I think it's a great idea. But hotels are always going to be there. We're always going to be there. People are always going to stay there. And some people have brand loyalty. So one of the things that I'm starting to learn is that it kind of doesn't matter what the hotel is, but your relationship with your consumers is more important. Because when you have let's say, you got a Hampton and a Hilton, and they're both the same price, how are you going to pick which one you want to stay at? It's going to be your past experiences, what people have told you, the reviews, what they offer. Can you get some free breakfast, some free parking? And all that, So a lot of this stuff is not just numbers. It's like the relationship, the staff that's on property, even with just where it's located is a big part. But like I said, if you got a Hampton on this side of the street and a Hilton on the other side, rate is not going to be a problem because, we're probably going to be priced effectively. How can we win over those customers is going to come down to how we present ourselves, being the best brand, having the best facilities, having, just the best customer experience.
Beautiful. Well, it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier, which was, interactions, right? Communication, right?
And that's where communication ties back into it.
Right.
Yes.
It does tie back into it.
Yes.
That's fascinating. You're right. Like if I'm presented with two options for a hotel and both are priced the same, sure, I'll take a look at the amenities that are available for the time frame
Right.
I'm going to be staying in the hotel. But also, it's like, have I been in that hotel before?
Right.
Do I like the staff?
Right.
I do that with coffee shops.
Okay.
Like just even local coffee shops, right? I was like, all right, I really like the staff.
Yeah.
It's like
Because how do you pick?
right, and $3.
Yeah.
I drink black coffee,
Okay.
so it's like
Yeah.
regardless, maybe
It's easy, yeah.
it's $3
Yeah.
here, $3.25 here,
Okay.
$3.75 at that.
Yeah.
Extreme case, right?
Yeah.
But it's still the same thing that I'm drinking.
Right.
But I do pick the spots where I just like the interaction that
Yeah.
I see with the staff.
And that's the communication, like I said. And those people, they probably know that.
Yeah.
They're probably like, hey, we're selling the same coffee that the Dutch Bros are selling, that Starbucks is selling. But when you come in here, it feels different. The air feels different. The conversations we have are memorable. And that's what you're going to remember when you leave and you want a cup of coffee. You're going to come back to the shop that gave you a good experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came from, how did you order it? How did they communicate? Have you ever been to Raising Cane's?
Yes.
I used to work there. It was one of my high school jobs. And everyone that has been to Cane's know that they have like the catchy phrases.
Yeah. That's
Communication.
It, right? Yeah, it's communication.
And it's like
they got some good chicken.
And it's the sauce too.
Good food too, right?
But
It's the
at
sauce.
the end of the day, you remember that catchy phrase when you
Right.
ordered. Like, oh, that was cool. That was different.
Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true. So how are you seeing that affect the marketing world, or even in the digital space? Communication. How's that translating right now from your point
From my
of view?
perspective,
looking at it in the long run.
Honestly, I feel like as a whole, I can't speak for our company. I'm really just getting started, and our office is a very small portion of the business as a whole. But if you look, you'll see Hilton, they got commercials. They're active in social media. They're on LinkedIn. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They have, brand ambassadors that, create content. So they're in the digital world of like marketing to where like we're gonna do it on a personal level. You see the trends. What's another good example? Like if you look on Twitter, there's always gonna be a company who's posting some trendy stuff that you would be like, how did that get through? But you think about it, and it's like, oh, they're marketing to the young generation now.
You do see
I just
that.
saw something from Subway, and it was something that was cannabis related.
Wow.
And you wouldn't have thought that that would get through, but
It does.
it does, and it attracts attention.
So attention is the biggest commodity.
Yeah.
I saw the same thing on this lady who posted saying, just like one of those Instagram posts you see, and she's like, listen, I'm a designer.
Yeah.
I do logo designs, and whatever company, is in the comments of this post, I'll be able to design free logos for
Yeah.
you. That clip blew up, right? Now she has like a list of 10,000
Wow.
brands that she needs to design for.
For some logos,
But
yeah.
within those designs, you see Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
You see North Face.
Okay.
You see big brands.
Big names.
On the comment
Yeah.
section. Going crazy,
In the comments, yeah.
right? So it's like, oh, wow, things have shifted.
Yes.
And they have recognized it, right?
Yes.
It is interesting times, isn't it?
And it's like, there's another thing, it's like the social media game is so out of proportion now. Like you see some of this stuff, I'm like, how much time did they put into that? Oh. But it's worth it. It'll get 40 million views. And I'm like, I see why.
I see why.
Like the effort behind it, the creativity to think of something like that.
I see why.
But it's all communication. It's like, how can I get this message or this, this idea that I have to the most amount of people the easiest way as possible? Social media is a good one, but like, you got to be creative. How can I set myself out away, apart from all these other social media influencers, companies that are doing the same thing? And you just got to stay, the trends, of course, but like communication, it's like, all right, what's new now? How can I communicate with the people today? What's popular today?
Okay. Let me bring it back to a selfish question.
Okay.
The podcast that I'm doing here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are a communication expert as far as I'm concerned, even though you just graduated.
It's a work in progress.
I would imagine that podcasting right now, even though it's not completely saturated, but I think it has seen a couple of peaks, right? So I do see content creation becoming a new way to garner attention to any cost. So what kind of advice would you give me?
For your podcast?
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's great message. Definitely the people that you bring in are going to be the main drivers, especially depending on if like local market, getting some local faces in here. People that are going to resonate to the community as a whole. Like if you're able to get Mahomes on here, I guarantee.
Oh.
I get, but how hard is it? He's a
Yes.
busy man. Football. But like, if you did get the chance, I promise you,
It would change.
and he's also, he's not just football. He's an investor. He's involved in the city, and he's just a great face for the team. And like I said, the clientele is a big part of it.
That's so true.
Getting those faces in here, letting them share their experiences.
That's a good point. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's definitely a good point because initially when I first wanted to get started with it, asking questions, asking people to be a guest, it was like, okay, what are you doing again?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So they were not really familiar with me.
Yeah. Yes.
So it was a challenge, but once I have like a few episodes,
Right.
and
Once
I
you
do
got a few,
going,
you got
and
your
I-
rep.
right?
Yeah.
So people can go back and say, okay, it's not about
Yeah,
content,
yeah.
Like I guess I can be there and I can put my message
Right.
out. And people are kind of gravitating towards it as well. It's like, okay, quality content that's kind of diminishing.
And it's also, I feel like, this is another point I want to bring up.
Yeah.
For like, when you're doing tasks, like working out, even sometimes working, or you're just somewhere where you want to pass some time, podcast is like music to where it's something that you can listen to in the background, but it has more value. It's like if you're listening to a podcast about stocks, if you have your favorite podcast, you're going to turn it on, and you 9 times out of 10, you're not just going to be sitting there watching it on your screen. You're going to be listening to it, grocery shopping, you're going to be working out, you might be mowing the lawn, but you're going to be doing something, but it feels different when you listen to like a podcast or an ebook versus just listening to music. It's like it has some value. It's like something that you can learn from it. So it's definitely a good platform. As long as your content's there, people are they're gonna listen to it.
Yeah, that's a solid point because you feel like you almost doing two things at once.
Yes.
You're like shopping,
And it's
but
beneficial.
also
Yes.
self-developing.
Yeah.
You're shopping, but
It's better than playing the game.
Right.
You know, it's not like I'm losing brain cells. I'm gaining some.
Right.
You know.
Or just like listening to music.
Yeah, it's a good use of your time.
Yeah. It's
Yes.
definitely a good use of your time.
Yes.
Not that listening to music is not, but music is addictive.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm not getting any value from it. It's
Right.
just what I like doing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Which takes me to how I plan to grow it, and just like having audio, because I don't have audio available right now.
Okay.
Right? So just another note for me. It's like, hey, you got to get the audio version now.
Okay.
With Apple Podcasts.
Yes, of course. Spotify.
Spotify, baby.
Yes, I'm an Apple guy, but I like both.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Spotify is definitely
Yes.
big. What else do you want to touch on? You think it's just an interesting conversation? It's like me. This is the first time that I'm
Yes.
meeting you, sharp guy.
You want to hear about the program?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I'm here is because I was part of their Mark I program, and it's a leadership program where my class, we went to Virginia, and we're basically it was an environment of collaboration, leadership development, career development. We were there for a few days, and we just went through almost everything: resume building, how to get an elevator pitch, how to perfect it, what to do when you're in spaces like this, how to present yourself. How to know what to say. And so we just went through there, heard speakers from people that have been there before, and they just shared their experiences and their wisdom so that, we were going to, of course, come across challenges, in our career where, we'll wish there's always that one where it's like, I wish somebody else would have told me that. So the program, it tries to eliminate that by bringing them in before it happens, so you can hear from these people who have already made the mistakes, succeeded from them, and now they just want to share with you how they got there so that you don't come across those same mistakes. And if you do, you got the resources, the tools to be able to circumvent it and to realistically get past that challenge quicker, and more efficient. So, being in those programs, not only does it give you the resources, resources, they're not always tangible. They're going to be, just like this, how to present that information, how to portray it, how to share it with you. But also it was just an environment where we just felt like we were part of something bigger. They were investing in us. And so now, like I said, I'm in the point where I've graduated from school. I want to see how I can invest, and share what I've learned, be a resource, because they invested in me. How can I give back? And so that's kind of where I'm at now. It's just figuring that out, coming back to these events, showing my face, giving back through community service, just being available. Whenever you need me, if I'm in the space and I'm available and I got the time and I'm actually able to do it, let me know. And that's just kind of where I'm at now. It's just continuing to invest in those who invested in me, as a resource.
Yeah. So giving back.
Giving back.
So do you see yourself giving forward as well? Maybe having a mentee under you?
Oh, of course. When I get to that point, I definitely feel like I'm still learning.
Yes.
I'm actually in the market for my own mentor. My dad is one of them.
He's mine.
And,
He's a good mentor.
Yes. He's a great mentor, coach. And he's just someone who he's had multiple experiences. His resume is long, but he knows people. So not only can he, teach you the best way that you can, meet people as well, but he'll get you in the door. I want you to come meet this person, or, I want you to meet this person. It's networking. It's being able to be the person that can say, I know this person, or I can, find someone who would help with what you're looking for. And that's one of the things that I always was just amazed. It's like whatever you need, he knows somebody. He's come across, someone who has helped him. So now, he wants to give back and help them, or it might just be someone who, through work, we're here at the Urban Financial Services Coalition, 50th year anniversary. It's people from all over. It's people from New York. I know you talked to the guy from San Francisco. Like, we got people on both coasts.
Chicago, everywhere.
And they're meeting here.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing whenever you can have all those people show up, share their experiences. And that's what I'm here for. I want to meet everybody. Like I said, if you got something for me, let me know. Like I said, you've already invested in me, so if you need a young face to go speak to the younger generation, I'm here. I've been there. I've been through the program. I've graduated school, and I'm just adulting now. but I'm still learning as well. So being in these spaces gives me the opportunity to continue learning, continue meeting people, so that learning never stops. Neither does networking, but there will come to a point where they will need me for something, and just them knowing that I'm, the person that's going to be available, let me know, and I'm gonna do it, and they know that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Can't wait to see the next flux of generation coming in and really taking over, or at least growing it in the best way. How you
Yes.
see fit.
Yes.
Vision, I can see it. Maybe you were looking at the future president of this organization. You never know,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, if the opportunity
If it's in
presented
the cards,
itself,
yes, why not?
I would. Yes. Especially if I was not only in the position to fulfill that position successfully, but if I was someone who they were considering, and this was like, hey, like we've been considering, of course, like it's one thing to apply for a job, and there's one thing to have a job.
Handpicked, right?
Yeah,
You're the man.
You're the man for that, and so
That's true.
definitely, of course.
Some wisdom. You're sharing some wisdom.
And I'm still learning. Give me some. Yeah, like I said,
I think
this is just what I've learned from my experiences.
No, I
Yes.
appreciate it. Anything else you'd like to put out besides this? Any personal stuff that you'd like to promote?
No, shout out to my family. Like I said, I'm actually the oldest, so that's another reason why I'm always looking to perfect my communication and to be a leader, because I got 5 younger siblings that they all like, what's Big Bro doing? So hopefully they see this and they know that they next. I'm still growing, and one day I'm gonna be doing some big stuff as well, but they next as well. So we all growing up, and I'm just the oldest.
Yeah.
So they got more time to learn from, my dad as well. I'm learning from him, but they got me as well. So just being that next level of like, oh, he's younger, but he's also doing stuff that dad's doing. And just, being, even my brothers, my mom, she's the mother. I got 3 brothers on my mom's side. So just showing them, just being a role model,
man.
like, hey, like y'all got Big Bro, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I just want y'all to do the same.
I love it, man.
Yes.
I love it. Can't wait to see you.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah,
In
I
the
can't wait to see
future,
this as well.
It's exciting.
And we're going to get my homes on here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
I hope you heard that. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
It is trying to impact the community as well in the most positive way. Normally, the content is geared towards small businesses and how we can help small businesses, strengthen them, give them all the tools that they need.
Yes.
Capital, technology,
Yes.
information, experience, and now communication as well. Like I can confidently say that I brought in a communications expert.
Yes.
To help scale in these new mediums of promoting whatever business and whatever industry that you're in.
Right.
So thanks for your time.
Thank you.